Hi, I'm going to help you find intercepts so that you can graph lines quickly on a coordinate plane. This goes along with slope. I'm not actually going to talk to you about the slope of a line, but all this is compiled together in part of the slope chapter in pre-algebra and algebra. So if you want to know what intercepts mean, I'm going to go over that at the end of the video and show you a funny little way to help you remember what intercepts are. But right now, assuming that you know what intercepts are, I'm going to show you how to find them. First of all, you want to look at your equation and you want to have x plus y or x minus y on the left side and then the number on the right side. When it's set up like this, in math they call it the standard form of an equation. And in the standard form, they set it up as a is the number in front of x, plus by, and b could be the number that's in front of y. Right now it's a 1. I put the equal sign, which is right here, and then the number that's by itself, this number right here, 6, is a constant, so they use the letter C. But this is, in math, how they identify the standard form of an equation, x plus by equals c. Is this in standard form? Do you have your x value, your y value, your equal sign, and then your number? Yes. Okay, well there's a real easy way to find your intercepts so you can graph quickly. What we're going to do is first we're going to let y be 0. So if I draw the parentheses for a coordinate and I let y be 0, I'm going to put 0 right here. That means that I'm going to insert a 0 right here. So I'm going to have 3x plus 0 equals 6. So basically that just means 3x equals 6, and then I would divide by 3 and you get x equals 2. So when y is 0, x is 2. So we have a coordinate that we need. This is called the x-intercept. I'm just going to put int for intercept. Now, I do it a little bit different way, maybe faster. I actually cover up y when it's 0, so you don't even see it. So 3x equals 6, and then I would divide by 3, and I get x equals 2. All right, so now let's find the y-intercept. We'll use a different color here. So when I'm going to find y, we're going to let x be 0 this time. Okay, so if I'm going to find the y-intercept, let's rewrite it. So we said that we were going to let x be 0. So if I let this be 0, 0 times 3 is 0. So basically I can cover it up. And look, y equals 6. There's your y-intercept. And so you put that right here. Okay, now I'm going to do a super quick graph. Here's the x-axis, the y-axis. The x-intercept is at 2, so 1, 2. And this is the coordinate, but when you actually talk about the x-intercept, you would say the x-intercept is 2. You wouldn't write 2, 0. So when you talk about intercepts, you don't give the coordinate, you just tell where it's located on that axis. The y-intercept is located, these are the coordinates, so that's a little bit confusing. These are the coordinates that we found. So the y-intercept is at 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right here. So the y-intercept would be 6. So if we follow the intercept rule, which I just talked about, the x-intercept would be 2, and the y-intercept would be 6. So you don't give coordinates, you just give the number that you found. And then you just connect the dots with a line, and hey, we just graphed this equation right here with the intercepts. So that's a really quick way to do it. Let's take a look at another one. Okay, let's find our x-intercept and our y-intercept. Alright, to find the x-intercept, we let y be 0, so 0 times 4 is 0. So, or you can think about covering it up. So if I cover it up, I get negative 2x equals 8, and then I divide both sides by -2, and I get my x-intercept as -4. Alright, and now if I want to find my y-intercept, I let x be 0. So I would cover up x, my x term, and then I have 4y equals 8. I would divide both sides by 4, and then your y-intercept is located at +2. So if we graph this really quick, we said that the x-intercept was -4, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, -4. We put a dot, a point there, and then our y-intercept is 2, 1, 2, +2, and then you would connect those, and you just graphed this line using the intercepts. Let's try another one. Alright, so in this one, let's find the x-intercept. So y would be 0, so we can cover up this term. 2 times 0 is 0, -0 is nothing. So you would have 3x equals 18. And we would get x by itself by dividing, and you get x equals 6. So my x-intercept is at 6. Alright, now let's find the y-intercept. So to find the y-intercept, we're going to let x be 0. Don't forget that negative sign there. -2y equals 18. I'm going to divide both sides by -2, and I get y equals -9. So my y-intercept is located at -9. Okay, let's graph this real quick. My x-intercept is at 6, +6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put a point there. My y-intercept's at -9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's that. We're going to connect those dots. Try to connect the dots. And we have our line for that equation that was written in standard form. Okay, now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you some equations that are not written in standard form, and we're going to have to change them to standard form. Sometimes people have a little bit of trouble with this. It's just something that you have to practice a couple of times, but it's not hard. Let's take this equation and let's change it to standard form. Well, in standard form, we want the x to be on the left side of the equal sign. Well, right now it's on the right. I'm going to move it over. Right now it's +2x. When it crosses the equal sign and moves to the other side, it becomes negative. So I've got my x term first. Now I'm going to put y. Y is positive, so I'm going to put plus y. Then my equal sign, and I move this to the other side, so here it is. And then now I'm just going to drop my number down, but there's a negative sign in front of it, so don't forget that. Let's take a look at another one. So we're going to move this to standard form. Your x value needs to be on the left, so when it crosses the equal, it becomes positive. So it's +x, and y is already on the left side, so we're going to keep it there. And then we're going to drop our 8 down. And now it's in standard form, and you could easily find your intercepts. X would be 8, and then y would be 8, and you plot those points and graph them. Okay, let's try another one. Again, this one isn't in the standard form, so we're going to move the 3x to the other side. It's negative, so now it's going to become positive. Y is already on the left side, and it's positive. And then I drop my -9 down. And if we wanted to quickly find the intercepts, we could find the x-intercept by letting y be 0. And so if y was 0, you'd have 3x equals -9. You divide by 3 and you get x equals -3. And to find the y-intercept, you let x be 0. And the y-intercept is -9. And you could quickly graph that. We'll estimate x is -3 about here, and y is -9 about here. And that would be the line for this equation. Alright, let's take a look at working with a couple of fractions. Okay, in this problem, problem, we have 3 fractions. We want to get rid of those. So we're going to focus in on the denominators, 2, 4, and 2. We want to find the least common multiple or the least common denominator, which would be 4. So I'm going to multiply each of these terms by 4. So I've got 2 terms on the left side of the equal and 1 term on the right side of the equal. If you need some more work with this, I have a video called Clearing Fractions. Alright, so 2 goes into 4 2 times, and 2 times 1 is 2, times x is 2x. And 4 goes into 4 1 time, and 1 times 1 is 1, and 1 times y is 1y, which is just y. And then 2 goes into 4 2 times, and 3 times 2 is 6. So now you've cleared your equation of fractions. You could easily find the intercepts and graph these. I'm not going to do the intercepts on this one. I want to work one more equation with fractions. Okay, in this one we have a 7 on the bottom. So there's another way that we can do this one besides clearing it. Since there's just one denominator, we can go ahead and leave it. So I'm going to move my x term and get this in standard form. So that would make it a positive fraction, and then plus y equals -2. So I move this term to the left side with the y. Now, let's say that I want to find the intercepts. Well, you would let y be 0. So you'd have 2 sevenths x equals -2. So we're going to find our x-intercept. Alright, and we're going to take the reciprocal to get x by itself, and we're going to multiply the reciprocal on both sides. That gives me 1, and 1 times x is x. And then 2 goes into 2 1 time, but it's -1. -1 times 7 is -7. So my x-intercept is -7. And then my y-intercept, you would just let x be 0, and then the y-intercept would be -2. And then you would plot those 2 points. We can do a quick estimation. X is at -7, and the y-intercept is at -2. And connect those dots, and you actually have the line for this equation graphed. Alright, the last thing I told you I was going to show you was, what do intercepts mean? Alright, so let's say that you have your coordinate graph, and here's your x-axis and your y-axis. And you have an alien that is flying, a flying saucer, and he's driving it. Okay, and he's trying to get to the mothership over here. Okay, so here's the alien mothership. Right now he is on a flight path, the fastest flight path to get right there. And so as he flies, he has to cross a force field. So he's flying along this line, and he hits a force field right here. So he intercepts the y force field, and then he continues to fly on this path, and he intercepts the x force field. So these are actually what your intercepts are. Where did you touch y? Where did your line touch y, the y-axis, and where did your line touch the x-axis? Then you connect those, and you can make a line. So if you know how to find the intercepts, you can plot those 2 points and then draw a line through them, and you have the line for your equation. Thank you so much for watching, and check out my other videos online.